What's up, guys? Want to come at y'all really quick and with a video and a little bit different one today. And I don't know if you guys like this kind of stuff or not, but I'm going to share with you a little bit of a blurb out of a book I'm reading right now, and it just kind of hit me hard. It hit the biggest reason because it's super relative to For the Willing, and one of the biggest underlying tones to our brand For the Willing really is just grit. And having grit and being willing to kind of see things through and having mental and physical fortitude, whether you feel like it or not, to do the thing you started and see it through the end. It may not be pretty, but you are a man or a woman of your word, and you saw that thing through that you raised your hand to do. And, the other thing too about just kind of being willing in those different things and raising your hand and that kind of stuff is that, again, in previous videos I talked about, you may not have it all right now currently at the table, right? But again, in that process and pursuit of doing and being willing and moving, you will try, fail, adjust, and calibrate as you go. And through that process of seeing that thing through. So, but I want to read this to you really quick. So, I'm not going to go through everything, but I'll take two separate excerpts out of here. So, how many men lack this power of holding on until they reach the goal? They make a sudden dash, but they lack grit. They are easily discouraged. They get on as long as everything goes smooth. But when there's friction, they lose heart. They depend on stronger personalities for their spirit and strength. They lack independence and or originality. They only dare to do what others do. They do not step boldly from the crowd and act fearlessly. Now, talking about the statement "I will" in the English dictionary. So in there, it's a excerpt here. It says "I will," and it says there is strength, depth, and solidity, decision, confidence, and power, determination, vigor, and individuality in the round, ringing tone which characterizes its delivery. Speaking about the statement, "I will." It talks to you of triumph over difficulties, of victory in the face of discouragement, of will to promise and strength to perform, of lofty and daring enterprise, of unfettered aspirations, and of the 1,001 solid impulses by which man masters impediments in the way of progression. Last piece here is a quick quote excerpt. Says, "He who is silent is forgotten. He who does not advance falls back. He who stops is overwhelmed, distanced, crushed. He who ceases to become greater becomes smaller. He who leaves off gives up. The stationary is the beginning of the end. It precedes death. To live is to achieve. To will without ceasing." So with all that, one of the biggest things, guys, is that, when we're going through life, right? When we're going through and pursuing whatever our aim is, whatever your goal is, whether it's in the gym, outside the gym, professionally, in the work world, relationally, with our family, with our homes, with your kids, with relationships in general, whatever it is, right? One of the biggest things about this is that whatever you set out to do, whatever you start to do, you have to see it through. And as a byproduct of that, you become that next phase of person that you're trying to become, right? And it's all about, I can get into a lot of different things about that, but one of the biggest things I look at is like, kind of like your test, and if you don't pass the test, then you're gonna take another lap. You know what I mean? And come back and we'll try again another time. But one of the big things, guys and gals, is that we are faced with different things on a day-to-day basis. And they can be big, they can be small. And what's big to you might be small to me, and vice versa. What's small to me might be big to you. It's all relative to the individual, right? So, but the biggest thing about this is that, when we maximize building not only our physical bodies, but also our mental landscapes, doing both of those and kind of rowing the two oars of both of those is what's going to make you the most complete individual in your pursuit, right? And I read a quote not too long ago that said that the mind can only go as far as the body's able, right? And if the body is not able, if we don't work physically, to be better and stay disciplined there, then the mind can only go so far. And it's also true on the other side is that, an able body and a smaller mind, and I'm not talking about intelligence. I'm just talking about when it comes to mental fortitude and seeing things through, that is a muscle in itself as well. And that adversity, and the more we stretch that muscle of adversity in ourselves, the better and better you get at handling and being able to be competent, but also capable during adverse situations. So anyway, I don't want to take too long with this, but the book is called An Iron Will. It is by Orison Swett Marden. And this is the second book of his that I've read. I've read one before, another one of his. This is the second one I'm reading right now, about halfway through. But anyway, I want to share that with you guys today. Not sure if you like that kind of stuff. A little bit different video than what I've done in the past. But anyway, you guys stay blessed. We'll see you in the next one. Later.